Welcome to Hospital Podcast, edition number 367. My name is London Elektricity, and I'm joined in the studio by the artist known as Mitekiss. Johnny, hello.
Hello. Very nice to be here.
It's lovely to have you here. We're going to kick off with your first release on Hospital, Farmost. And today we're not doing shouts. We're just talking about music in general and anything else that pops into our heads. And we'll try and build a little picture in your minds of who Johnny Mitekiss really is, or maybe just who he wants to be. This is Farmost featuring one of my best friends, Emer Dineen, on vocals. Massive shout to Emer.
Can I call on you when the night gets too long? Can I call on you? I'm at war with my mind, and you're the only freedom I can find. When I can't hold on, can I call on you? I can't hold on, my demons won't all night so low. Can I call on you? Can I call on you?
Now, regular listeners will know why I think this is possibly one of the most perfect debut releases by any artist that we've signed. I don't think it could be any better than it is in being what it is. That sounds a load of rubbish, doesn't it?
Thank you very much.
It's original, but it's reassuring. It's like a warm comfort zone that you've never visited before.
Yeah. I think you're right. It's got a soft vibe to it. It's not too in your face, which I like. It's got a bit of a London Electricity vibe, dare I say it. A little bit, a nod.
What are you stealing my sound?
Pretty much.
Stole my vocalist. No, it is totally different. Most people listening won't know who these people are, but it reminds me of Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. In the kind of that sort of very early kind of progressive folk funk, kind of vibe.
Yeah. It's I think when I very first sent it to you, I said it also had that 07 kind of vibe to it.
Yeah.
Which is a bit folky and a bit. It's a nod to that era as well.
Yeah. Definitely. Well, beautiful, and there's going to be a lot of anticipation for your debut album, which amazingly you have actually finished already.
Somehow.
This is unbelievable. That's the first as well. We've never signed anyone and they finished their album as quickly as you have.
Well, I think when you signed me, a lot of the ideas were already down. I was working on them already, so I had a head start.
You did, didn't you? But I may play one or two of them out just sneakily without telling anyone what they are.
Just send me a link.
Otherwise, Nikki upstairs will actually throttle me. Okay. New music by the Lynch Kingsley. This is on Rua Sound. It's called Eternal Sunset. Keyboards.
Nice.
We were chatting a little bit earlier before we started, and I think we both got a mutual love of like unusual chord sequences.
Yeah. You can probably actually play them. I've got a love for them, but it's how we can use them in music. That's the difficult bit.
Yeah, it's all very well coming up with like a chord sequence that you've never heard before, but making it work in a track that's the difficult bit. Lynch can do it.
Yeah, this sounds real good.
So I've got to give a massive shout out to Bop for doing the last podcast himself from St. Petersburg. It was an amazing journey through his absolutely amazing musical brain. His Untitled Pattern series of EPs is continuing to astound and stun people who are into drum and bass, but also people who really hate drum and bass as well, but they love that. So hats off to Bob. Now, there's a few quite interesting things about you, Johnny. You're not your regular artist.
Not
that there's any such thing, but okay. So for one thing, you categorically do not DJ, and you do not want to DJ. Is this correct?
Yes, I think almost correct. It's I believe making music and DJing are two very different skill sets. Very different, and they shouldn't be combined so much. And it would almost be a disrespect to DJs for all of a sudden, oh, here he is, he's a DJ now. Because it would be easier for me to get sets now, right, just by being on hospital. But that would just be, that's just not, it's not in my nature to do that. I think let the good DJs be DJs. I would need like 10 years to get to a level I would deem decent. So I can do it then.
Really refreshing to hear, because it's almost like the kind of standard path is you get signs, you get some publicity, and you put a set together. Doesn't matter if you can't DJ, because you can just use the sync button and go out and get some gigs and play the same set over and over. I mean, like, there are a lot of producer artists who do that for the money.
And I could go and do that now, but it would just be against my compass.
I love that.
And I'm probably shooting myself in the foot, but
no, I love the attitude on that. It shows that you are all about making the music.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I'd love to be able to DJ and to be a good DJ, because that is, like I say, that's a whole other skill set that is underrated.
I mean, when we signed you, the least happy person in the building was Josh, who runs hospitality.
Yeah.
He was like, "Why are you signing someone who is not going to appear at my event?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Look, Josh, it's an angle. It's different. It's original."
I'm a bit surprised you did.
Suck it up.
Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised.
Well, at least we're going to have one artist who isn't moaning about where they are on the flyer. Why aren't I at the top of the flyer? Why am I below him? It's not fair.
Yeah.
At least you're not going to be doing that.
No, I won't.
Very refreshing, actually.
Yeah, like I say, I'm surprised that you guys signed me full stop. Well, because as well, I don't DJ, so I don't offer that live element, which is very important now for artists. And I understand that, so after that first chat with you, I had to stop there for a
Well,
sec.
I think, certainly with Farmost, I think we've more than made up for it with the animation that Rawston's done and the artwork that Ricky's done. I think the whole package is phenomenal, to be honest.
Well, thanks.
So, yeah, you're just going to have to get really, really creative visually.
Oh, that...
Because I know you are a visual creator as well.
I was just letting that roll out for a second there.
Yeah, I know. I'll shut up. This is Leave Off. It's by Scar. It's on Heads. We'll come back to this.
That's lovely.
See, DJing is actually an enormous amount of fun. I love it. I absolutely love playing out. And to actually be able to play the music you genuinely love, and for it to be appreciated, hopefully, if you don't mess it up, is quite amazing.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So, you know, take your time, but one day you might just think, yeah.
Maybe a radio DJ.
No. Right, when your album comes out, you can do a podcast, okay?
Yeah?
Yeah, just you.
Play what I want.
Yeah.
Alright, good.
And before we started, I was trying to persuade Johnny to come to Hospitality on the beach, because obviously he's not going to perform at it. We have got exactly 1 month to go. We have less than 20% of tickets remaining.
And I'm going to try and get one.
There are still very affordable flight options available. See our website for more details. There are ticket packages for our official partners, Love Music Travel. On-site accommodation is filling up fast, but see our website for all details about options at the Garden Resort. HospitalityOnTheBeach.com. Now, the boat parties, they're nearly all sold out, but there are tickets remaining for the Blast, the High Tea boat party, the Saturday Hospitality boat party with Makoto, Fred V, Hugh Hardy, and B Complex and Technomatic, the Med School Friday boat party, and the Spearhead versus Blue Mar 10 boat party. Get those while you can. There are after parties at Barbarella's. Just the mere fact that there's a beach resort in Croatia and it's got a nightclub called Barbarella's is amazing. I don't know if you've seen the film, but have you seen the film?
No.
Johnny?
Is it something I need to do?
Yeah, definitely. It is a psychedelic 1960s classic.
Okay.
Starring Jane Fonda. It's amazing.
I'll check that out.
I think you'll really enjoy it.
I'll sample it.
Please don't. Now, someone who will be performing several times on the beach is this guy, Inja. His album's coming out soon. This is Inja working with Whiney. It's called She Just Wanna Dance, and I'm going to shut up so you can hear it.
She just wanna dance, yeah. Just let the gal dance. Cause she just wanna dance, yeah. Now everybody dance. Now everybody dance, yeah. Dance, yeah. First man that I see stepped up with a big bottle of brandy, acting like he was the man like Plan B. She politely refused, then he turned off key. Second man approached with Bacardi, thought he was the life of the party. Pull up in her face quite harshly. She said no, we got nasty. The next man saw it. He got the Prosecco for exploring. Thought he could get in there for the glory. Till she turned away, ignoring, boring. Then fourth in the row came heavy with his snow, saying come speak to Charlie. But she was like no, I'm alright, thank you, I'm here for the show. Then she moved to the front and I see that she don't want brandy, don't want Ricard, don't want Prosecco. She won't speak to Charlie, only wanna dance on her own in the park. She don't wanna dance with no man or anybody. She don't want brandy, don't want Ricard, don't want Prosecco. She won't speak to Charlie, only wanna dance on her own in the party. She don't wanna dance with no man or anybody, cause she just wanna dance. She just wanna dance. She just wanna dance.
Now, if you don't know, you need to get to know. Inja's debut album on Hospital Records is called Blank Pages. It comes out on the 29th of June, 15 tracks. There's collaborations with Pete Cannon, Serum, Whiney, Newtone, Logistics, Gravity and Nunda K.
Now the dance floor's hers. Enough man try, but she don't hear their words. All she wanna do is let loose and swerve. Dance on her own, but the man are like, copy a man don't get it. If she wanna check you, then she'll start checking. But right now she's on the floor and she's stepping. Man need to allow themselves and get trekking. Now don't get funny with the woman if she don't wanna chat and ain't into your pursuing. Don't mean she's a lesser or whatever you're assuming, cause your ego's dented, your life ain't ruined. We all came here to rave and skank. What you doing? You don't wanna take part, leave and stop screwing. You don't need to touch every girl that you're viewing, cause she don't want that. Hear the facts, cause she don't want brandy, don't want Ricard, don't want Prosecco. She won't speak to Charlie, only wanna dance on her own in the park. She don't wanna dance with no man or anybody. She don't want brandy, don't want Ricard, don't want Prosecco. She won't speak to Charlie, only wanna dance on her own in the park. She don't wanna dance with no man or anybody, cause she just wanna dance.
A veritable drum and bass anthem for the Me Too generation. She just wanna dance. Massive shout out to Inja. He absolutely smashed it at the barbecue in Bristol on Saturday. In fact, everyone stepped up. It was an amazing day. It's the best Bristol party we've ever had. One of the favourite kind of all-dayers that I've ever been to. So huge shout out to everyone who came out and sold it out. And a big shout out to the guy who actually ended up appearing in the Independent. I don't know if you saw this, Johnny. I didn't realise at the time, but in the Jungle Jam, which was it was in 3 outdoor areas.
Right.
In the Jungle Jam, while Marky was playing and it was properly going off.
Yeah.
There were these kind of like metal steps that go up to second level that goes through to the kind of one of the bars, and you're not supposed to kind of block the steps.
Right.
But someone shot this video from the dance floor, so it was all kind of popping off, and they panned over to the stairs, and there's this guy reading a book, standing on the stairs reading a book, and it's really cool because like you can see the security guards see him and go up to him and kind of sort of start to pull him down, and then kind of like, oh, what are you reading?
Yeah.
And the guy sort of shows him and it's Catcher in the Rye. and the kind of, you can see the kind of security guys nodding, going, yeah respect, bruv, you know. But he kind of like, you know, gently kind of moves him on. It's a really nice moment in a rave. I've never seen that before.
Oh, wow.
It would only happen at hospitality as well. He wasn't reading because he was bored. He was reading because he felt comfortable.
Yeah. Safe amongst friends.
Absolutely. That's the vibe. Brand new music from Carlos Lima, aka S.P.Y. The man is an unstoppable force of nature at the moment. He actually has two studios.
I've seen on Instagram.
Have you seen it?
Ridiculous.
He lives in Bristol, and one of them he made just so that it replicated exactly the studio he had in London. I mean, it's nuts.
It's got a spaceship vibe to it as well.
Really has. Well, he is so tidy and OCD about all of that. I mean, my studio is an absolute tip, but obviously it works. This is called Midnight Blue by S.P.Y. Massive things incoming from Carlos S.P.Y. over the next few months, many of which I'm not at liberty to even talk about.
That is lovely.
So Carlos played 2 sets at the Bristol barbecue. He did a back-to-back jungle set with New Tone, and he also closed off the main stage with an absolutely amazing set. See, Carlos is one of those DJs who never plays the same set remotely twice, and he will make specials every week for the weekends gigs. And he had some really, really good specials up his sleeve. So if you want to hear what they are, you need to go and see Carlos DJ. I think Carlos is going to be DJing about 3 times at Hospitality on the Beach, which is nothing because I'm DJing 5 times. But he's going to be presenting a dub plate style party. Now, if you went to the Critical Barbecue at Studio 338, you would have witnessed S.P.Y.'s dub plate style party. It's quite something. On the beach, it's going to be at the after party in Barbarella's on the Sunday with S.P.Y. back-to-back high contrast, back-to-back new tone with Randall, Chris in Perspective and SPMC. That in itself is worth flying to somewhere to go and see. It's going to be quite special. a little glimpse into the back catalogue of Mitekiss. This is called Chasing.
This feels like ages ago now.
So when did this come out?
End of 2016, maybe?
Really?
Maybe.
Wow.
I might have that wrong. I'd have to look.
It's only your music.
But this is on SGN.
Oh yeah, SGN is. That's what I always call Shogun Limited, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the sister label.
Sugun.
Sugun.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
Sugun.
But it's Shogun basically, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Shout out to Amy, who used to be head of promotions here at Hospital and then went freelance and then moved to Brighton and then was conveniently offered a job by Ed Friction to be head of promotions at Shogun. That's exactly the same time that we signed you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite bizarre. Like a little kind of trade, you know.
Yeah. I'm not a...
No money changed hands. We just swapped Amy for Johnny.
I'm not a pawn in your chess game.
You can't talk about porn.
It was, yeah.
Family show.
4th of November 2016.
Oh, there you go.
When this song came out, not when I signed.
And also Amy's other half, Jamie, who used to run our web shop, is now label manager at Shogun. So there you go.
Small world.
It's quite an incestuous business, this drum and bass game.
Yeah, I'm staying on the outside.
Shout out to Amy and Jamie and Ed and Kia and the crew down at Shogun.
And Max, big up Max.
Yes, Max. So, when did you start making drum and bass?
Oh, well, it's kind of been on and off since I started making music. Because I had jungle in my house from when I was a teenager and early teens, 12,
Yeah.
13, 14. My brother and sister were rinsing it all the time. My brother used to DJ.
Oh, really?
He still does, but
Serious?
yeah, back then,
Is he any good?
very good.
Can he pretend to be you?
Good.
Can we book him as Mitekiss?
Mitekiss Senior.
Yeah. Brother of.
Yeah, you could. No, he's very
Or
good.
one of the Mitekiss brothers.
So I was always messing around trying to drop drums like he was
Yeah.
back then.
Yeah.
But when it was hardware and a bit of Rebirth thrown in, for those of you that have used Rebirth.
Oh yeah, Rebirth, absolutely.
Your drum machine.
Yep.
So yeah, on and off. It's always been there in the background. And now it's at the foreground.
So I'm not going to tell anyone how old you are, but obviously you're not like 19 years old.
No, might be.
You've kind of had a life already, haven't you?
Yeah. That makes me sound older than I actually am.
It's possible. Look, it's possible to have a life in 1 year.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true. Yeah. You can tell people how old I am. I'm not. I'm in my 30s.
A lot of people assume that when we sign a new artist that they're always like 20 or something, or 21,
Yeah.
or 22. But I love the fact that you're coming to the fore, not quite in your dotage, you know. I'm allowed
In my prime.
I'm allowed to talk like this.
This is my peak.
I'm 57 years old. I can say what I like about age.
That is true.
You got nothing on me.
That is true.
Village man are satisfied. This is my church, let me sanctify. Live by the soul to be your sacrifice.
I think that helps though,
Samurai.
because I can come in and be like, nah, you're alright.
You've got.
I mean, when you're a teenager, you might be more,
Yeah.
yes, whatever, do whatever.
You have a very, very calm demeanour.
Really?
Yeah, very calm.
I don't feel like that.
Really?
Yeah.
That's how you come across.
Fair.
That's how Etherwood used to come across as well.
So it's,
Until after we signed
it's
him.
you guys that have,
Ain't got the pace, so I'm an undertaker and cut. I'm a samurai hunting for blood. In the art of war, I go nuts. Slash them off, I see guns. Bring an army and I'll be the one. Left standing, coming out of front. Big step to me like I'm dumb. With a passion, I got ice sprung. Took them all out in the blink of the sun. Got 'em all dizzy, got 'em all spun. Reflecting the light from the sword that I swung. Now I got close, man, never got touched. Sound like Neo with the sword, man, trust. Blade sharp, no gun. Take out 10 when I
The sound of Inja working with Serum. From the Blank Pages album, this is Samurai.
Man shot, tools of the mind. Man, I play chess with the fools of the night. Leave with extra links upon side. That's that winner's grin, the bare pride. Cause man started from the bottom of the ride. I did the training and failing, but I'm not fully trained in the ways of the strike. Leave no witness, man, I move nice. Slash, be happy to live with your life. 1-to-1 is too easy, don't. So I'ma take out your team on your track. Throw ninja stars, I move right. Then capture them in mid-flat. Then swing the sword, it's like it. Of course, command's always the last one alive. They ain't got the pace to keep up. Can't swing the sword like we does. They ain't got the pace, so I'm an undertaker and cut. They ain't got the pace to keep up. Can't swing the sword like we does. They ain't got the pace, so I'm an undertaker and cut. Juke up any rhythm, yeah, we juke up, we juke up, we juke up, juke up any rhythm, yeah, we juke up, we juke up.
Now, when you get your copy of a Blank Pages, and it is worth getting the physical copy for this, you will get a lyric book with all of the lyrics. And not only that, there's a backstory written by Gareth Inja to each track, basically explaining what's behind it and what was in his mind at the time. Because those of you who've seen Gareth perform or maybe heard him on the podcast, you all know what an absolute kind of ambassador for mindfulness and positivity he is. Right, another tune now that came out on Shogun. I think this tune kind of, can I say, broke you? Did it break you?
in a good way, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, in a good way.
Yeah, definitely. This particular, maybe the EP as a whole, but this would be my pick from that EP.
And it's Empire featuring Mr. Porter.
Yeah.
When he's not singing, can you tell us a bit about him?
When he's not singing?
Yeah.
Well, he's actually my brother-in-law, married to my sister.
I told you it was incestuous, didn't I?
Yeah. I got vocals on tap.
There you go.
No,
You're laughing.
He's a veteran too, so he's he's amazing to have around and to work with.
He's an absolute G as well, I can tell you that.
He is, and I'm very lucky. To you.
And for those of you that don't know, Mr. Porter runs the drum and bass against racism organisation.
Yeah, Facebook group, kind of.
Yeah, with t-shirts.
Well, they don't actually make any t-shirts. There's no involved.
He sent me one.
Yeah, other people in the group have made them. So you can download the artwork and it's like a DIY
Oh, that's amazing.
type thing.
Trouble is, it was medium. So I couldn't wear it.
I'm sure he'll hear this and send you another one. What size?
Well,
I don't want to say.
I'm currently kind of like trying to lose as much weight as I can before hospitality on the beach.
Use the t-shirt as a goal.
I'm still in XL. I'm 7 kilos down so far, so I'm quite content with my progress.
This vocal was actually for another tune as well. Like with most things I
Right.
make, it's an amalgamation of ideas.
Yeah.
Like for most producers, I imagine.
Yeah. I am currently working on a tune for my new album that is a song that I wrote in 1990.
Right, I can't top that.
But just don't throw anything away, basically, because you
Yeah.
never know when it's going to come in handy.
Definitely.
I went to a brilliant exhibition at the Dulwich Picture Gallery a few months ago, and it was MC Escher. You know Escher?
As in blocks in Escher, is that?
No.
Different.
No. Okay, that's confusing. MC. He was the artist who did all those amazing kind of like surrealist
Right.
illustrations that completely defy the laws of geometry.
Okay.
Buildings where staircases go on forever.
Yeah.
And a lot of tessellation. Check him out. He's an amazing. He's dead now. He's an amazing artist.
Okay.
But I've always been a massive fan of his work, and what amazed me was this was like his life, and some of his early sketches from like 40 years before he became famous. He was repeating those themes in the works that made him really, really famous. And
Right.
and that kind of showed me, don't throw your early ideas away, because they might not have been well executed then, but you may be able to execute them really well
Yeah.
30 or 40 years later.
Yeah, or just pull a little bit from it and
Yeah.
reuse it in a different way.
Yeah.
You know how it is. Nothing's original.
Right, Google image search Escher, Escher. You will thank me for it if you don't know who he is.
And also, Blocks in Escher, that is a really good album, that new album.
That is a really good album too, I know, yeah.
Unrelated.
Heavily supported on the podcast. Now, one of the most missed people in drum and bass, Marcus Intalex, lives on through his music. This is an unreleased collaboration by Jubei and Marcus Intalex called Fanny's Your Aunt. It's coming out on Metalheads. Massive shout out to Marcus. You just know he did the filter sweep on that pad. Are you able to answer this question? You don't have to, because I hate this question, but are there any producers or composers or artists from any genre who you would say are a reasonable sized influence on you and your music?
Oh, wow. What a horrible question.
It is, and you don't have to answer it. You can say, I'd rather not answer that question, and that's fine, we'll move on.
Yeah, but I don't want to be a politician. There's,
like that, that's good.
There are... It is a very wide pool, so it'd be unfair to soul out one artist. But so if it was within D&D, obviously you've got Marcus Intalex, Caliber, Botech, yourself, just to name a few. And, you know, modern day producers too.
What about outside of drum and bass? What about kind of like reaching back maybe 10, 20, 30 years?
Yeah, I'm sure there's some craft work ingrained into what I do. Maybe.
Nice.
Maybe even some Joy Division somehow.
Yeah.
You know, it comes from everywhere. I don't have a set of genres that I only listen to.
It really shows in your music as well.
I'm glad.
In a very, very positive way.
Oh, I forgot to mention Nebu as well.
Nebu.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of my favourite producers, so.
Wicked. From obviously that's from within drum bass.
That is.
Yeah. You've got a rather interesting Spotify playlist.
Which one?
Well, Feels.
Oh yeah.
Tell us about that.
It's kind of a collection of slightly distorted soul records. It's got that vibe. They've all got that same. That's the running theme.
Distorted soul records.
Slightly.
Wicked.
Slightly.
Like
hot mastered, you know, just
for example,
off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Oh God. Can't actually complete mind blank.
Okay. You can come back to that one.
Let me come back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have a look at your phone.
Yeah. Let me check.
Dear listeners, I'm very, very glad that it's not just me that suffers from complete memory whiteouts. It's a great pleasure to have another artist in the studio with me who also suffers from that.
Cheryl Lynn, In the Night. I've got the list in front of me now, so.
Say that again, sorry, I had the mic turned off.
Cheryl Lynn, In the Night.
Oh, okay, cool.
But they've all got William Bell, I Forgot to Be Your Lover. They've all got that, like I say, slightly distorted soul funk feel. And they're all pretty feel good as well.
Yeah. So they're tunes that, a lot of those old tunes were recorded live.
Yeah.
Basically, sometimes literally with the band live onto the acetate.
Yeah,
and
I think there's even a live Donny Hathaway in there, I think.
Yeah, and they used to sometimes drive the mixing desk extremely hard, so hence
that'll be it.
Because the loudness war was a 50s and 60s thing. It wasn't just the kind of like EDM thing.
That's what I was going to ask you actually. Do you think my records are quiet?
I think they are dynamic.
They come across as quiet to me. Every time I hear them in the mix, I'm like, that's so quiet.
Yeah, but there's this amazing invention called
volume,
called a gain or volume knob or slider, and you can make things louder when you're DJing. So what you can't do is to make a tune that's too compressed. You can't do anything about that when you're DJing. So there was this horrible period about 5 years ago where everyone was squashing all their tunes, and the waveform just looked like a kind of brick.
Some still do.
I can't play them because there's no space. You know, you need space. I'll never forget when I had a tune called Different Drum remixed by Dillinger, and he sent the DATs as they were then on DAT, digital audio tape, and I loaded it into my Mac. And I was expecting it because he was the king of loud drop tunes, you know, proper like bass drops. And I couldn't believe the amount of space that was in the waveform. It was unbelievable.
Well, you probably need that space for that much bass.
Absolutely, and there was no flat lining at all.
The louder you turn it up, the less bass there is, effectively, right?
Yeah. So we're getting on to the slight technical edge of production, but just to put it into kind of words that everyone can understand. Some DJs are kind of paranoid and scared that their tunes aren't louder than everyone else's.
I have a small amount of that.
So those producers making music who are kind of worried about it. I mean, it's a bit like sort of penis envy, if you excuse it, the expression. It's like, your tune's louder than mine, so
well, for me, it's not even that. It's more, is it? I don't want to say the word correct because there is no real correct, but is it at where it should be, if you like?
But
because there can be too quiet, right? Like,
yeah.
And there can be obviously hot mastered or too loud.
Yeah. So producers who are too scared and get really kind of worried about what other people think about how loud their tunes are, will use a thing called a limiter, which is a piece of software that kind of squashes your tune to the point where every part of it is as loud as every other part of it, and it becomes this kind of block of white noise almost, with discernible drums and vocals, and it's all the noise that, if you're maybe like 8 years old and completely off your head on ketamine, you might enjoy, but if you love real music, you won't, and it isn't going to last the test of time.
But there's a lot of music like that.
Yeah, but it's got a very, very short shelf life. And I will stand by that statement.
No, so will I agree.
And just to prove that the podcast is live, sometimes I make deliberate mistakes like this, where I've just mixed the same tune into the same tune.
Let's go again. No.
So, and we're not going to edit this. I'm just going to kind of like gently and swiftly
do what I would do if I was
move
DJ,
on. You see.
Just fade out. Straight up switch.
There you go. I have to do that occasionally, Johnny, just to remind people that we don't slave over these podcasts for hours, kind of pre-mixing them and then overdubbing the vocals.
How come you haven't got decks in?
It's warts and all. Thank you, Johnny.
It's a joke. Sorry.
It's all right. Everyone's seen them enough times. This is called Phantom 2018. Digital and Spirit, two legends of the scene. So Johnny, you run your own label called Gold Fat. Tell us about it.
So that's a label that me and Mr. Porter run.
Okay.
Together. was originally I just kind of set it up to put out my own stuff.
Yeah.
Because I was putting out music with other little labels, but at that end, I thought I might as well do it myself because I've got my own business and we do design. I can do my own design. So I just thought I'd do it all in house and do what I want. And so it's not really, it's more a labour of love. It doesn't make money, obviously. It's just something we enjoy to do. And we've started putting out other people's records. In fact, we're just about to put out an Arch Origin record, 2 tracks next at the end of this month.
By whom, sorry?
Arch Origin.
Oh, okay.
Who has been on Hospital.
Yeah.
Best of Holland, was it?
That's right. Yeah, Future Sound of Holland.
Future Sound of Holland, that's it.
Yeah. Oh, well, please do send me the promo.
I'll give them to you today.
And tell me.
Glad I got a plug in there. That was great.
Absolutely. I do miss tribal in drum and bass. It's really nice to hear it coming back a bit. It did become a dirty word for a while, but I do miss it. Mitekiss, Closure. And Johnny, this was actually your first release on Hospital. This was on Hospitality in the Park.
Yeah.
Which came out 2017.
Yeah.
Summer. And I think this is what... Yeah. This is definitely the tune that made me think.
It's quite a simple...
We need an artist like this. Yeah.
Yeah, there's not much going on in it. It's quite a simple track. I'm surprised you chose this.
But it's just got that. It's got everything in the right place, you know. It was funny when we invited you over, because me and Chris normally hate Chris Goss. We hate sitting in a studio with an artist and they play music that we haven't heard before in case it's disappointing.
Awkward.
And it can get very awkward, so we don't normally do it. But I think we had a sense with you that we wanted to do it, and you came in and we were like, well, you saw us, we weren't faking it, we were like really excited with what we heard. It was very, very inspiring. So it was one of those moments we said to each other after you'd left, Like, this is why we're still doing this after 21 years, as it was last year, you know, when we signed you. It was for those moments when you discover a new artist and you hear all this unreleased music they're still working on, and it genuinely blows you away.
Well, thank you very much.
So yeah, good work, fella. If you want to check out any more of Mitekiss's work, he also did a rather fine remix of Just 1 Second on Sick Music 2018. There's the Some People EP on Shogun Audio, the Final Hours EP on Shogun Limited, this track on Hospitality in the Park. Oh yeah, you did that collaboration with Onglow, didn't you? Inside the Silence.
Yeah.
And Walk Into the Sun and Spencer on your own Gold Fat records.
Yeah, Walk Into the Sun, I really like that one.
I haven't even got that. Can you give it to me, please?
Yeah, of course. It's one of my personal favourites.
And you also did it. You did a release on Skank and Bass as well, Void and Bridge.
Yeah, massive shout out to them because they're the guys who got my tune to Friction in the first place.
Wicked.
So,
shout out to Seb.
Big up Seb. Oh, and loads more on SoundCloud, you know.
Is there? Cool.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Excellent. Please don't put your new album on SoundCloud yet.
What about Instagram? Is that alright?
You'd be surprised the amount of producers who do.
Really?
Really. Incoming. David Barron featuring Simi Stone. It's called The Steps and it's the Lomea rework. Now see, all of that just really confuses my little brain because I don't know who's done what. Who's Lomea? Why isn't it a remix? I don't understand. But anyway, it's good music. And the podcast is going to come to a conclusion with the next track, and I've totally forgotten to mention Hospitality in the Park 2018, 22nd of September. It's our third edition, and sales are, I just heard from Joshua this morning, we're about 1,000 tickets ahead of any festival that we've ever done before, so it's selling really, really fast. That's what that means. We're on third release tickets right now. I'll try and rattle through the most kind of like exciting parts of the lineup, but you got High Contrast live band, you got Danny Bird album launch featuring GQ and other vocalists, Etherwood live band, Kings of the Rollers, Krakota Logistics, Me, London Electricity, Metric, S.P.Y, Polar and Bryson, MC's Dynamite, Wreck, Loki and Degs. That's in the Hospitality tent. The Let It Roll have got a new visual show called The Portal Show. Their special guest headliner is Noisia. Yes. Also appearing at Let It Roll, Mephius back-to-back, Calix and TB, 20 Years of Virus with Ed Rush and Optical and Rhyme Time, Black Sun Empire, 1985 showcase featuring Alex Perez and Monty, Circuits, which is Kazra of Critical and Inside Info, Rennie Levice, Halogenics, Malux, Suki, and Bifidus Active, MCs Jakes, Mantmast, and Master X. The Outlook tent will feature Goldie, Foreign Beggars Live, Ocean Wisdom Live, Dillinger, Dawn Pen Live, Chimpo back-to-back Barely Legal, Children of Zeus, Notion back-to-back Mr. Virgo, Brucey, Unglued, and the Outlook sound system. The med school zone that was so popular last year that there were queues for about 45 minutes just to get in to the tent is now Med School XL with more entrances. Had a few people moaning about that. They wanted to get in so badly and they couldn't. And it features D-Bridge back-to-back New Tone doing a 2-hour set. LTJ Bookham, Keynote, Lensman, Children of Zeus again, performing this time with Lensman, Spectrasol back-to-back LSB.
Wow.
Oh, here we go. Whiney, Hugh Hardy, Bop, Sweet Pea, Dexter, MCs DRS, GQ, SBMC, Ruthless, and Tempsa. And there's another whole page, but I'm not going to read it. You can look at it on the website.
That's amazing.
So that's half the lineup in one day. So we're coming to the end. Johnny, thank you for joining me.
Absolute pleasure.
Thanks for making beautiful music and being completely safe as well. So this is your remix of Just 1 Second, which I was absolutely delighted that you asked to do.
Yeah.
Because I could hear a remix by you, and I think you pulled it off with aplomb, as they say. So
thank you very much.
Thanks for treating the tune well. So Farmost by Mitekiss featuring Emer Dineen is out right now. It's gorgeous, it's beautiful. You need it in your lives. Do check the video by Royston. It's amazing.
The city's beautiful in the early morning air.
Now you were saying your tunes aren't loud enough.
Love the smell of sun.
No, they appear quiet.
I mix
When everything becomes so
out of the Apex remix into this remix. And trust me, it's loud enough.
Big up New Tone.
New Tone on the mastering. Yes. Dan Newtone is our secret weapon. He's part of the A&R team and he's teaching all of our artists quite a lot
He's been
mix downs and mastering.
Sending me some tips that are amazing. So
yeah.
Massive respect.
I think you're beautiful, and you know it by one look. I think you're beautiful.
How did you feel about the pitched harmonies on this?
Yeah, I like them. I really like them.
I always wanted to ask you because I've changed them.
I know, I really like them.
That's good.
You pitched my voice, didn't you?
Yeah, and the main vocal,
Yeah.
I think it comes in a second. You'll hear on the delay, it's like a fifth. I've made it into like a fifth. I think that's the right phrase.
Yeah. You've gone all pentatonic on it.
There.
It's nice, really nice.
And when it finally came, it wasn't round for long. You ecstatically stumbled around. One warm second and suddenly gone. One warm second and suddenly gone. I wish the time would stand still. If this was part of a film, we would watch the clip all day, like a portrait of you and like a portrait of you and
Have you heard Deggs' freestyle over this?
Yeah,
What do you reckon?
it's really good.
It's
That's
cool,
when
isn't
when
it?
he was announced, right? He did that.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah, big up Degs. Absolutely smashed it at the Bristol barbecue. And big up to Tony, Toni,
If this second was my life,
who's a mental health nurse who I spotted in the crowd, and
second was my life,
she just looked the epitome of hospitality.
second was my
Go and check out my Facebook page. There's a video of her dancing on some poor sod's shoulders.
The NHS top.
Brilliant, yeah.
Yeah.
With orange hair
Yeah.
and orange shorts, and I've been in touch with her. It turns out she's a full-time mental health nurse in Cardiff.
Wow.
And she relies on drum and bass to de-stress and to basically get through her week,
That's amazing.
because it's such a high-pressure, high-stress job.
Yeah.
So big up Tony.
today it's all so clear.
I would actually like to get her in on the podcast and have a proper chat. I think it'd be really interesting.
That would be wicked.
That's when I won't
Just going back to the very start when you talked about live visuals, artwork.
Yes.
I like to do that. I was talking to Chris earlier about
Good.
potentially doing live recordings, variations of some of the album, but played live, and just doing some sort of filming. Not really sure what that might be yet, but that is definitely something I want to do. So
Interesting.
yeah, play the NPC live could be quite cool.
Wicked.
Something like that. Bit of bass, piano, drums.
It's something to experiment with, and,
Yeah.
and you've made your album so far ahead of release that you've got time to
I
do
can
it.
just chill out now.
You can do it. No, you can't. You can't. You're not allowed to chill out.
You said I'm calm. I'm just coming to stay horizontal.
No, you're not. You're gonna do stuff. Right, that's us. We're out. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for tuning in. And thank you to my guest, Johnny Mitekiss.
Thank you for having me.
I'm London Elektricity, and I bit my tongue yesterday while I was having a cheese salad for lunch. I know what's a cheese salad. It's cheese with salad, and
What kind of cheese?
just grated cheddar in the local cafe Jasmine,
Oh, okay.
the legendary
So
Jasmine.
not like a feta salad or something.
No, it wasn't posh cheese.
Right.
No,
Feta's not posh cheese.
it is round here.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, we're out. See you later.
See ya.